What if this silence, this emptiness that has been gripping your heart for days, weeks, or even months, was not forgetting or abandonment? What if, on the contrary, this silence was a kind of divine preparation, a subtle sign that something greater is being prepared in secret, far from human eyes? How many times have you felt this heavy weight in your chest, this painful absence, this void that seems impossible to fill? Yet, this painful moment, this mysterious retreat, is perhaps only the first step in a turnaround orchestrated by the one who controls hearts. You may have thought it was all over, that this story, this relationship that was dear to you, had drifted away from you forever. But don't be fooled by what your eyes see or your ears hear. There is an invisible power at work, gently but surely turning hearts and preparing an unexpected return. A divine hand is guiding this process. And what you are experiencing right now is a sign that destiny, as Allah has written it, is being fulfilled. This video is an invitation to open your heart and recognize the clues the Almighty is sending you. What you will discover here is not mere supposition or empty hope, but a confirmation that has already begun to manifest in your life, even if you have not yet fully perceived it. Prepare to see your reality change, for Allah is turning a heart, and it may well be the one meant for you, brought back to you at the perfect time. When Allah touches someone's heart about you, there is a moment invisible to human eyes, a secret instant when Allah intervenes directly in the depths of someone's heart. It is neither by chance nor by human will that feelings change, but by a divine decree that acts silently, like a gentle breath that unlocks a door that has long been closed. Imagine this heart as a complex lock guarded by 1,000 barriers, which only the heavenly key can open. This key is Allah's permission. When Allah decides to turn a person's heart towards you, it is not a simple emotional turnaround, but a profound change, an inner movement that surpasses all human logic. No human being can force true love, because sincere love is a divine gift. It is He who gives birth to desire, who gives rise to tenderness, and who soothes grudges. Even the strongest grudges melt under His will, for hearts are in His hand, and He shapes them according to His wisdom. This transformation doesn't happen quickly. Sometimes it's a slow inner work, a slow reversal that you don't notice at first. But one day, everything becomes clear. That person you thought was lost, that soul who seemed distant, begins to think of you, to feel a new sweetness, as if a veil were falling from their eyes. It's a celestial rewriting of your story, a new act inscribed in the great book of destiny. Never doubt this power. This return is never the result of chance, nor of mere nostalgia. It is Allah who chooses, at His perfect moment, to turn a heart, to prepare it to return to you. And in this silent gesture, He places a hope, a promise, that nothing can break. The invisible signs that a divine return is underway. When Allah begins to turn someone's heart toward you, this change doesn't come suddenly without warning. Before every major upheaval, He sends signs, subtle messages that only an attentive heart can perceive. These signs are not always loud or obvious, but they manifest themselves gently, like a gentle breeze caressing the soul. You may feel, without knowing why, a strange inner peace that settles in despite the external storm. This peace is a gift from Allah, a foretaste of the change that is coming. It calms your doubts and invites you to be patient. You may also find yourself having recurring dreams where this person returns, where your paths cross again in a setting your heart recognizes effortlessly. These dreams are not mere coincidences. They are a form of divine communication, a prelude to what is about to happen. Sometimes, old memories emerge, forgotten shared moments, as if Allah were gently awakening the memory in the other's heart. These memories, which may seem innocuous, are in reality powerful signs that divine will is at work. You may also feel an inner calling, a deep tugging, an intuition that urges you not to lose hope, to remain firm in your faith. These signs are here to reassure and prepare you. Ignoring them is like closing your eyes as light begins to pierce the darkness. Allah never leaves His servants in total ignorance. He guides gently, wisely, and lovingly. If you notice these clues, take them as confirmation that what you are waiting for is near. Be vigilant, stay connected to your heart, for transformation is underway, even if it is still invisible to the world. Temporary estrangement is not divine rejection. When someone distances themselves from you, silence falls, and contact seems broken. It's easy to think that all is lost, that you've been abandoned or even rejected. Yet, this apparent withdrawal is not a sign that you've been rejected by Allah or that your place has been erased. On the contrary, distancing is often a necessary step, a time of purification and preparation. Like a blacksmith who subjects metal to intense fire to remove impurities, Allah sometimes allows distance to occur to purify hearts, strengthen faith, and prepare for a better, more solid encounter. During this period of waiting, even if the pain seems unbearable, remember that every trial is a lever for spiritual elevation. Temporary separation is not a definitive abandonment, but an obligatory passage where each person must question themselves, grow, and become internally cleansed. It is a time when the soul learns patience, when the heart is purified of grudges, doubts, and weaknesses. It is also a time to strengthen your relationship with Allah, for it is He who guides and shapes history, even when it seems frozen. Often, waiting is a test, a call to persevere without losing hope or falling into discouragement. Allah wants you to be ready, for your heart to be stable, and for you to be purified in order to welcome this return in the best possible way. It is not a punishment, but an act of divine love, a means to make the reunion more beautiful, sweeter, and lasting. So instead of giving in to sadness or anger, consider this time a beneficial pause, a phase where Allah is working secretly to transform hearts and prepare them to unite again. Be patient, trusting, and above all, anchored in your faith, because today's distance could well be the door to a new beginning, purer and stronger. The turning of the heart, what it means spiritually. When Allah changes a person's heart, it is not simply a change of opinion or a passing fluctuation of emotions. It is a profound transformation, a spiritual metamorphosis that touches the very essence of that soul. This change is like a light that ignites in the darkness, a new gentleness that begins to inhabit thoughts and actions, revealing a previously unsuspected compassion. You can see this in the person's eyes, in the way they begin to think of you differently, to remember you fondly, even if they don't yet say so openly. Sometimes this change is silent, almost imperceptible, but it is there, powerful and real. Allah works in secret, in the other person's very heart, arousing emotions and intentions that no human being could provoke alone. This reversal signifies that grudges are erased, doubts are replaced by hope, and resentment is transformed into forgiveness. It is an inner cleansing, a warming of the soul, an opening to the possibility of renewal. This process is invisible because it plays out in the other person's consciousness and faith, but its effects always eventually manifest themselves in reality. To understand this phenomenon is to recognize the power of divine will, which surpasses all human logic. The heart is not something that can be forced or manipulated. It is in the hand of Allah, who shapes it according to His perfect wisdom. When this heart is returned to you, it means that Allah has chosen to rewrite a story, to re-establish a connection, and to open a door that no one had dared to imagine. Be patient and attentive to these signs of gentleness and inner change. Even if the words are slow in coming, the transformation is underway. Because a heart turned by Allah is a heart that nothing and no one can prevent from returning. Allah's perfect timing. When everything seems dead, He acts. There are times in life when everything seems frozen, extinguished, hopeless. You look around and see nothing moving, nothing evolving. You pray, you hope, you sometimes cry silently. But the lack of response makes you feel as if everything is over. Yet, it is precisely in these moments when humans give up that the divine intervenes. Allah never comes too soon, nor too late. He acts at the perfect moment, often at the last second, when faith is tested to the very end. Imagine a dry earth, cracked by the sun, forgotten by the rain. Everything seems lost, barren, dead. And then suddenly, an unexpected rain falls from the sky. In a few moments, the dust transforms into life. The seeds, buried for months, awaken. The flowers bloom. And nothing suggested that this transformation was possible. But Allah knew. He knew that this soil still had potential, that a few drops at the right time were enough to revive everything. This is how He works in your life, in your heart, and in the heart of the one He wants to bring you back. What seems extinguished to you is not dead, but dormant. And sometimes, Allah deliberately delays its fulfillment to prepare you internally, to purify your intention so that you do not receive this return as a mere whim of fate, but as a sacred gift. He wants you to understand that it is not you who forced the connection, but that it is He who re-established it by His wisdom. Never forget, Allah is the master of time. He knows the details you don't. He sees the invisible blockages, the unhealed wounds, the pain others hide behind their silence. He waits for the exact moment when everything aligns. Your heart, His, the circumstances, the paths. And that's when everything changes, suddenly, without warning. Where you thought there was no more hope, He brings light. Where everything seemed dead, He brings life back. So even if you don't see anything right now, keep believing. Because when Allah decides to act, He doesn't knock on the door. He opens it. The moment you feel it coming back. Divine confirmation. There comes a moment, often unexpected, when everything seems to align without you understanding how. You don't receive a message, you have no visible sign, and yet your heart knows. A gentle certainty settles within you, silent but powerful. It's not just a passing impression. It's as if your soul recognizes that something has moved, something invisible but real. You wake up one morning with a strange peace, a tranquility that can't be rationally explained. And in that peace, there is a message. Prepare yourself, for the return is near. When Allah brings someone into your life, He begins by anchoring you in gratitude. You feel an inexplicable appreciation. You don't give thanks for something you see, but for a vibration you feel. It's as if your heart has already seen what was coming, and no one can take that feeling away from you because it doesn't come from you. It comes from Allah. It's deposited deep within you like a divine signature. You no longer feel urgency, no more fear, no more anguish. You no longer demand. You no longer cry to fill a void. You are simply ready. Your soul is at peace, and this peace is proof. Proof that your waiting is over. That the heart you thought lost has found its way again. That what was distant is returning, guided not by human will, but by divine calling. And when that person returns, there will be no need for long explanations. The look, the attitude, the sincerity will speak for themselves. You will know. You will not doubt, because Allah will have prepared you in advance, in silence, in depth. And at that moment, all you will be able to do is say thank you. Not just for the return, but for the journey.